everyone, and welcome to the first Halloween makeup tutorial of the season. Today I am bringing you a monster bride look that was inspired by Spooky Little Peach and Sydney Nicole. I will have the Instagram post that I used as inspiration down below for you all. But right now I am starting by gluing down my eyebrows. This is a completely optional step. But if you want your paint to go on just a little bit smoother and allow you to do a little bit more of an exaggerated look, I do recommend this. I've done this in other tutorials. I recommend looking up a drag queen and how they do their brows. They can explain it much better than I can. So to set the concealer that I'm using as a base on my lids, I am using a kind of a pastel purple. I made some changes and adjustments throughout this video, and I thought initially I was going to do my skin purple, but I decided to do it this kind of classic green instead. However, it's totally up to you. You could definitely do this with light blues to give you a Lily Munster vibe, or black and white to give you that old Hollywood vintage sort of look. But I am just setting all my bases with this purple so that I have a nice smooth transition color. Now I'm going in with this kind of blackened purple, and I'm using an angled brush to create my crease. You can see here I am just taking a fluffy brush. There is no product on this brush, and I am just blending that purple. It creates a very nice deep contour to the eye, gives you that very spooky, monstrous look. This look is definitely more on the spooky glamour side of things, as opposed to some of my other looks this year, which would be more scary. So now I am applying a glitter. Again, totally optional. You could just use a deeper purple shadow, but I took some NYX glitter glue and one of my favorite glitter brands, Sin Cosmetics, and used this fuchsia glitter to fill in my lid. Now I'm taking a kind of ultraviolet liner and giving myself a super dramatic wing and adding some mascara. You guys can see how purple these wings are. I am loving this liquid liner right now. I think it's super duper fun. And then I decided I was going to take a bit of white eyeliner and just define that crease a little bit more, giving you a very 2016 Beauty Guru cut crease. Now I am doing all of my base, all of my skin, however you want to call it, my foundation in this case. I am using this minty green color. It makes me think of mint chocolate chip ice cream. And I'm just spreading this all over my skin with a foundation brush. This is a palette from Amazon that I found of cream paints. I believe it's from CC Beauty. If you want to use this palette, I thoroughly recommend it. It's a really nice set of paint. Now I'm just painting my body and giving you a very vacant stare because at this point I had pretty much zoned out. But as you will see, I'm leaving some points of my body bare, like up my throat, and kind of creating this V on my chest. That's because I'm going to use some other colors of paint in those areas, and I just want to give myself kind of a guide. So I added these little patches on my shoulders to give like a cold shoulder effect, but you guys will see what I do with that here in a minute. Now I'm just outlining the edges of this green with this light purple. I actually ended up using a deeper purple to do this, but my light kind of died. I think it overheated and basically went out while I was doing this, so I did cut that out, but just know you're going to want to use a darker purple here to create a more contoured effect. I thought this purple would be dark enough, but it was not. But I just took another foundation brush and outlined all the areas on my skin, so just around that green patch on my shoulder. And now you can see there is a deeper purple on top of that, and I am just setting all of this all of this paint with a translucent powder. And as I do this, I'm just using a tapping motion. This brush is very dense. That tapping motion will help blend your paint. Now I'm going in and creating my stitch marks. I'm using a black paint and a square liner brush. I definitely could have made some of my stitches a little bit thinner, but this happens every year where I make my stitches too big whenever I'm doing something, and it's very hard to fix. So this became very go with the flow by the time it was done. But I'm just going along all those purple areas, along the purple edges, and doing these black lines to make it look like they're indented into the skin. While I let that paint dry down, I also decided to contour my face using the dark purple paint, and I just went around the edges of my face and the hollows of my cheeks like I would with any bronzer. Then I took one of these little tiny finger sponges and I just patted that contour in and blended it so it wasn't so harsh and looked more like a, nice deep contour shadow. And this was super easy. So my camera cut out this part where I added the red, but I decided to leave some open spaces on my skin and fill them in with red to make them look a little more gory. And then I just added some more stitch marks around my neck to make it look like my head was stitched on. And then I added the little thatch marks around the black stitches so that it would look like I was stitched up or the stitches had popped open in certain places around the red. I also added stitch marks right along my contour lines just so that my face had consistency of my body, looking like my skin has just been sewn together by some mad scientist. And I did it along the contour because it also helps deepen those lines and that effect of having this very ghoulish face with these very sharp features. I've done this before a few times and it really brings a nice effect. Then I took the white eyeliner again and I went just under my eyes, and just to kind of open those eyes up a little bit. You could do a darker shadow if you want to look a little more scary, but with my costume having this flowy floral top, I thought it would be a nice effect to have this kind of bright eyes and give this very soft, pretty monster look. And then I just underscored those whites with a green pencil. Then I threw on some lashes, and it took a few attempts just because glitter and eyelash glue do not always mix, but I did get them on. These are the Ardell Lift Effect lashes, so they really open up your eye. Then I used Serpentina lipstick from Lime Crime. Again, you could use any color you like. You could do a purple, but I decided a deep shimmery green would really bring the look together. Then it was time for the wig. So I threw on my wig cap here, and then I used this Frankenstein wig that I got from Spirit Halloween last year and just moved it over so that it was not a middle part. And I never know how to act when I put on a super long wig because I feel instantly fabulous. And then I realized I forgot to do my eyebrows, which I do every single year. So I just filled my eyebrows in with some black paint, made them very arch, very vampira, old movie star esque. And that is it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for the rest of the looks.